talks about the complex number. Here two variables a comma b has been declared, and here objects like a1 and b1 is being created. This a is equal to a1 and this b is equal to b1. Here two constructor classes have been given, and which the first class is used for the implicit casing. Then there is an addition operator overloading with two objects ob1 and ob2 being created. The temporary object is initialized as 0, 0. The two objects has been calculated and it is stored in the temp. Here similarly the two objects has been calculated and stored in the temp, and finally we are returning the temp. Now talking about the subtractor or subtraction operator, here the two objects ob1 and ob2 has been declared, and the return object is initialized as 0, 0. The two objects has been subtracted and it has been given to the temp, and we are returning the temp. Then multiplication operator is being performed with two objects ob1 and ob2. Here the temporary object is initialized as 0, 0. In temporary dot a, we are multiplying these values and we are storing in the temp, and here similarly we are multiplying these values and we are storing it in the temp, and we are returning the temp. In division operator, the temporary object is initialized to 0, 0, and we are finally we are returning the temp. To string is an overridden. How to display the complex number complex how to display the complex. The I is imaginary, then this double equal to is a relational operator. It does not return void, so a bool return type has been used. So if this object 1 dot a is equal to object 2 dot a and object 1 dot b is equal to object 2 dot b are equal, then the vectors are equal and we must return true. If it is not equal, then we must return false, that is the vectors are not equal. Then there is an implicit operator where both the value dot a plus value dot b is being added. Then here there for the explicit operator, the vector v1 is double, which has been given to cos, and they are converted into int. Here the v1 is given to log and it been converted into int. This then return. Then here this talks about the main function where three objects C1, C2, C3 has been declared. Then here the arithmetic operations have been performed, like option 8 it talks about the addition, option 2 talks about the subtraction, and option 3 talks about the multiplication, and option 4 about the division. Then after performing this, we must enter the choice. If either the choice is 1, 2, 3 or 4, then if the choice is 1, then we have to perform addition. If choice is 2, we must perform the subtraction. If choice is 3, we must perform the multiplication, and if choice is 4, we must perform the division. Then here it talks about the first complex number and second complex number. So in first complex number we must enter the real part and the imaginary part. In second complex number we should give the real part and the imaginary part. Then like this, while choice is not equal to 6, which means like there is a default where the incorrect choice has been given, then it is break. Then the following output has been declared, like if we give the choice as 1, it represents the addition. It will ask for the first complex number, so we are entering the real part as 2, then we are entering the imaginary part as 4, then entering the second complex number, so enter the real part as 6 and enter the imaginary part as 7. So we'll get the addition as 8 11i. 8 represents the real number and the 11i represents the imaginary number. Now for example, like okay, do it once again. So enter your choices. We can give it as 2. So we are entering the part as 4 and the imaginary part as 6, and we are entering the real part as 3, and we are giving the imaginary part as 2. So the subtraction is 1 and the imaginary part is 4i. Since 1 means, because it is like 4 minus 3, like real part of the first number minus real part of the second number, and the imaginary part will be 4i, like real imaginary part of the first complex number and the imaginary part of the second complex number. Then if you enter the choice as 6, then it will exit. Thank you.